Your HR team is drowning, not because they're bad at their jobs, because you're asking humans to do work that machines should be doing, and the cost is higher than you think. I'm Todd Jennings, founder of Cyber Tiger Technologies and the Startup Venture Lab. For more than 25 years, I've built and scaled technology systems across healthcare, logistics, SaaS, manufacturing, e-commerce, and enterprise operations. These days, I focus specifically on one thing: helping growing businesses use AI and automation to eliminate the operational drag that's quietly slowing them down. Onboarding is one of the biggest sources of that drag, and most companies have no idea how much it's actually costing them. Let me show you what we found and what we did about it. Here's what manual onboarding actually looks like at scale. A new employee joins your company. Someone on your HR team now has to manually track down 30 to 40 separate records: emails, forms, spreadsheets, different systems that don't talk to each other, for every single new hire. At one digital services company with over 1,000 employees, that process took 2 hours per person, just to consolidate data, before any actual onboarding even started. Now multiply that by a surge in hiring. The team wasn't failing, the system was, and nobody had built a better one. Most companies respond to this problem the same way. They hire more HR staff. They add more checklists. They buy another tool that promises to fix everything and then requires a full-time administrator to manage. None of that addresses the actual problem. The problem is not the number of people on the team. The problem is that your people are doing work that should never have been human work in the first place. Think about what 2 hours per employee actually costs. At 1,000 hires a year, that's 2,000 hours of manual data entry every year, done by skilled HR professionals who were hired to build culture, run interviews, and develop people. Instead, they're copying data between systems. And that's before you account for the errors, because manual data entry has an error rate. Errors in HR data don't just slow things down, they delay system access. They hold up benefits enrollment. They create compliance exposure. For a new employee sitting at a desk with no login and no access on their first day, the message is clear, even if nobody means to send it: this company is not ready for me. First impressions in onboarding directly affect 2-year retention. And retention is not a soft metric, it is a cost. Here is where the story changes. I built an automation backbone using robotic process automation, RPA, integrated with SAP SuccessFactors and Active Directory through the business technology platform. That's a technical way of saying we made the systems talk to each other so humans didn't have to be the messenger anymore. When a new hire record is created, the system handles what comes next automatically. Email ID generation happens in real time. System provisioning that used to take 4 days now takes seconds, not minutes, seconds. The agents follow up on missing information. They key data into the HR system. They do the painstaking, repetitive work that was eating 2 hours of someone's day, every single time, without variation, without fatigue, without error. But that was only the first layer. Because there's a part of onboarding that happens before the first day. Candidates have questions about benefits, about IT setup, about company policies, and those questions don't wait for business hours. We deployed AI chatbots to handle that 24/7 layer, not to replace the recruiter, to make sure no candidate ever felt ignored at 9 p.m. when they were trying to figure out their health insurance options. Systems like this handle over 12,000 interactions per month and resolve around 74% of queries automatically. The remaining questions, the ones that actually need a human, get routed to the right person with full context already captured. Now, the numbers that came out the other side: data accuracy went to 100%. Human entry errors went to 0. Average handling time for employee information dropped from 120 minutes to 30 minutes per hire. Full automation at this level delivers productivity gains of up to 64% and can reduce overall onboarding time by 85%. And here's the one that matters most for the business case. Structured, consistent onboarding improves 2-year employee retention by 82% and increases new hire productivity by 54%. Those are not small numbers. Those are competitive advantages. AI does not make neutral decisions. Algorithms learn from historical data, and historical data contains historical bias. If your past hiring patterns had blind spots, an AI trained on that data will replicate those blind spots at scale. That's called algorithmic monoculture, and it's a real risk that doesn't show up until it's already done damage. At CyberTiger, we build human-in-the-loop systems from the start. The AI handles information. Humans make decisions. We use what we call delayed intuition. Recruiters review the AI-provided data first, then they step back. They apply judgment, context, and empathy before the final hire decision is made. The AI informs. It does not decide. We run regular audits to check for fairness patterns, and we maintain full transparency about where automation is being used and where it isn't. This is not a limitation of the system, it's the design of the system. Smart automation knows where it belongs, and it knows when to get out of the way. So, what did this actually change for the HR team? Before this system, they were process operators. Their days were spent chasing records, entering data, following up on missing forms, and answering the same benefits questions on repeat. After this system, they became strategic talent advisors. Same team, different work. Now they're running induction programs, building real relationships with new hires in the first 90 days, thinking about culture and development instead of spreadsheets. The automation didn't replace them, it gave them their jobs back. Here's what I want you to take away from this. The goal was never to make onboarding faster. That was a byproduct. The real goal was to make onboarding more human. And the way you get there is by removing everything that was never human work to begin with. The data entry, the record chasing, the repetitive questions at 9 p.m. Hand all of that to a system built to handle it. Then put your people back where they belong, in the room with the new hire, building trust on day one. Faster, fairer, and more human from the very first day. That's what this system actually delivers. That's what I build for clients. If your team is buried in manual onboarding work right now, I want to hear about it. Drop a comment below or send me a direct message. Tell me where the bottleneck is in your current process. And let's talk about what a system like this could look like for your organization. And if this gave you something to think about, follow me on LinkedIn and YouTube. Links below for more on how AI and automation are changing the way growing businesses operate. Systems over shortcuts. I am JT. See you in the next one.